All right, we're simplifying rational expressions. I wrote the wrong thing. So first we have to factor the top and the bottom separately. You're always going to find a match on the top and the bottom. You're going to cancel that out and rewrite. So here's our first. So the top is x squared plus 4x plus 3. And the bottom is 3x squared minus 27. So I have a trinomial here. Remembering my sign rules. A plus and a plus, again plus, plus the factors of 3. I only have 1 times 3. They're both positive, so 1 plus 3 will give us 4. That's factored. Now as for the bottom, again, you always look for a GCF. I didn't look for one here because there's no number out in front. But here there is a GCF, and it's 3. You divide this by 3. So that gives me x squared minus 9. Now I'm in here, in this parenthesis with the minus sign. You should always look to see if you could further simplify it, and you can. X squared is x times x, and the square root of 9 is 3. 1 gets a plus, 1 gets a minus. Now you look at the top and look at the bottom and you look for a match. So I have x, the quantity x plus 1. I'm going to see if I have a match in the bottom, which I don't. And then I have an x plus 3, and I have a match in the bottom. They're going to cancel out. Okay. You rewrite what you have left over. So in the top, I have left over this x plus 1. In the bottom, I have 3. X minus 3. Okay, that's my answer. You're always going to have a match. For this one, again, you're going to do your top. You're going to do your bottom. The bottom, if it's just a monomial, just one term, that's all you could do for it. The bottom we're going to be able to factor. So I have 5x to the 8th minus 15x to the 2nd. This one's easier. The GCF is 5. They both have an x. You take the smaller one, so 5x to the 2nd. Okay? So 5 over 5, they cancel out. So 8 minus 2 is 6. 15 divided by 5 is 3. And your x squares cancel out. Now, you check in your minus sign to see if it's the difference of 2 squares. 6x squared is a perfect square, but I can't take the square root of 3, so we're factored. You look for a match in the top and the bottom. So in the top I have 5x squared, and I have that in the bottom also, so they cancel out. I have nothing left over in the bottom, so I just have this x to the 6 minus 3. There we go. That's your answer. Some more. They get harder as we go. Look at your top, look at your bottom. Again, you're always looking for a greatest common factor. If you have a trinomial, you do have a greatest common factor. It's always going to be the number out in front for what we're doing with it. So here, the number out in front is 4. Over here, the GCF is 8. Divide by 4. They cancel. That's 7x. That's 10. 8. They cancel. That's that. Now, again, if there's a trinomial, you could probably factor it. So 4, set them up, minus plus, minus minus. Factors of 10. They need to both be negative to give me a -7. So -1 minus 10 is not -7. -2 minus 5 is. There you go. Over here, the 8 kind of comes down mindlessly. Minus plus, minus minus. For 4, you have 1 times 4 and 2 times 2. So signs are both negative. So -1 minus 4 is not -4. -2 minus 2 is. A 4 here, but an 8 here, so they don't match. X minus 2 here, X minus 2 here. This doesn't match this. And again, you can't cancel out on the same, like if they're both on the bottom, I could not cancel X minus 2 out with this X minus 2. Okay? I have to take one from the top, one from the bottom. I'm going to put them back together with my leftovers. So I have 4 times X minus 5 over 8 X minus 2. Now, if you have coefficients out here, you have to see if they could be reduced. You could reduce 4 over 8 to be 1 over 2. Keep this X minus 5, X minus 2. And that right here is your answer. More. Top 4x to the 6 minus 12x to the 4th. Just copying that, I wrote x's. I know this is a GCF. And I don't have to worry about this one. So the GCF here is 4. And I'm taking the smallest, which is x to the 4th.
Put that down.
4 divided by 4, cancel. x6 divided by x4 is x2. Minus 12 divided by 4 is 3, and your x4ths cancel. I look at the one with the minus. X squared is a perfect square, but 3 isn't. Okay, so I'm comparing my top with my bottom. I have an x minus 4 and an x minus 4, so they'll cancel. This stays the same. That's all I have left. All right, this one's going to be tricky. The top, bottom. My bottom doesn't need any work. My top, I have M4, N3, 12, M3, N2, plus 8, M2, N. Oops. I have M's and N's everywhere. The smallest M I have is M2. Smallest N I have is N. All you're doing here with these, when you're dividing, you're just subtracting your exponents. Bless you. Bless you. 4 minus 2 is 2. Bless you. 3 minus 1 is 2. 12. M3 minus M2 is M. N2. N is N. And then I'm just left with this. They cancel out to give me an 8. The sides stay the same. So I have an M2 and I have an N. So my leftovers here, M2, N2, can you take her, Maria, Argia?
Huh?
Plus 12, M, N, plus 8, all over 2. Now we're going to reduce this. I'm going to put the 2 underneath everything. So I have m2 n2 over 2 plus 12m n over 2 plus 8 over 2. This doesn't reduce, it stays there. And 12 divided by 2 is 6. 8 divided by 2 is 4. That's your answer. Almost finished. 2 more, I think. 2 more, 3. Top, bottom. The top, we have 3x2 minus 108 is a GCF here. It's going to be 3. So I have x2 minus 10 3 times 36. Difference of squares. This is a perfect square, this is a perfect square. This is x, this is 6. X plus 6 is minus 6. That's my top, factored. There's nothing else I could do there. Bottom I have x squared is 12x plus 36. X plus factors of 36, 1 times 36, 2 times 18, 3 times 12, 4 times 9, and 6 times 6.
Hey, stop.
That add to give me 12, so that's 6 plus 6. That's factored. So I have a 3, I don't have a 3. I have an x plus 6, I have an x plus 6. X minus 6, that's x plus 6. So here's your answer. You have 3x minus 6 over x plus 6. This one, your top, your bottom, you can't do anything with it. It's just 2x. Your top is 2x to the third plus 15x to the second minus 4x. Since they all have x's, I definitely know there's a GCF. You trinomial, you always take the coefficient as your GCF for what we're doing.
Wanna watch TV? Come on. Come on.
2 over 2, they cancel. x3 over x is 2. 14 divided by 2 is 7. Minus 4 divided by 2 is 2. And your x's cancel. Now, again, remember, we don't really pay attention to the 2x. X plus, x minus. I'm not even looking at the minus after I'm finished because the x is to an odd exponent. Did I not copy this right? And I actually can't factor this anymore. So, because there's no way that I could take my factors of 2 to make it into a 7. So, I'm not even doing that. So my 2x cancels out with my 2x on the bottom. And I'm just left with this x squared plus 7x minus 2. Oops. Alright. And last, but not least, I wanted to do this one because some of them you'll see where x can't equal numbers. That just means that if x is either -1 or +8 on the bottom, it'll give you a 0. And you can't have a 0 on the denominator. So that's why I put that there. The bottom is already factored. You have x plus 1, x minus 8. And you can't factor x minus 8 anymore, so bottom is done. The top probably has a GCF in it because it's a trinomial. And there's a number out in front. So the GCF is a number that's out in front. Which in this case is our 4. 4 divided by 4 cancel. You're left with x2. 12 divided by 4 is 3. And 16 divided by 4 is 4. Factor this. Minus minus is plus minus or minus plus. You're looking for the factors of 4. 1 times 4, 2 times 2, that'll give us a negative 3. So if the number here, if there are opposite signs and the number here is negative, the big number has to be negative. So it's either negative 4 plus 1 or negative 2 plus 2. That'll give us negative 3. And that's negative 4 plus 1. So 4 must go with the minus. 1 has to go with the positive. Okay. So that's the bottom factored. So I have a 4. I don't have a 4. X plus 1. Or x minus 4. I don't have an x minus 4. X plus 1. I have a match. They cancel. So my answer is my leftovers, my 4 times x minus 4 all over my x minus 8. And I am done talking about polynomials. Thanks for watching.